Yeah, these are my favorite kind of opens. Movements are super, super, super clear. Nice little cushion builders. Basically, where I posted in the chat again, it was best price of the night again. Posted this. I was like, this is where we are in regards to the post above, grinding those lows. There are many B points that still remain just under the red zone above. And we started moving towards it almost immediately. But yeah, I totally like the idea of being able to crush the red zone all the way above where we are right now. As I mentioned, the name of the game is to go up. The red zone's all the way up there, but you know, buying at the high of green candles is never a good idea. So make sure that you don't buy at the high of green candles, and you buy on a pullback if you do buy at all. You know, but if you're already exposed from yesterday or another day, then you're looking pretty freaking good. Because you know, yesterday's low still holds. There's no low yesterday that got taken out by the overnight movements. Like, it's that forgiving, which is really interesting to me because I believe we're going to get back on all-time highs pretty soon, and it's not going to have any news. Like, it's very likely that we end up getting on top of it, I think. And this is that chart where we had that big green zone and red zone that I put in there, which insinuates that, you know, on the 15 minute that we could go all the way back to the red zone potentially. Of course, there's that red zone up there. Nice movement. Jeez, look at that. Almost crushing the old all-time high. Read it like a book. We're already halfway through the range, ladies and gentlemen. Just about to hit that B point that we were looking at yesterday, just below the red zone. So we had a little bit of a negative response to the red zone there. Went through the 188, 200 specifically to get to the red zone. Tested the 188 from above. So particular, moved very perfectly off of that red zone. You know, no doubt it knows exactly what those ranges are. And you know, this is not like a normal range because it was never used before. This is the first time that it has ever been used. So it's not like anybody else is going to know about it except for the institutions. Just think about that for a second. Because a lot of people, you know, they're not going to have anything to do with this range. Zero. It's a new range. It's never been used ever, ever, ever. So they'll have to think the same way that I will in order to have this range. And the people that move the market seem to do that. So it's almost at the 100 as well, so we have to keep that in mind. But yeah, we're ranging, and there's definitely no ifs or buts that they're using this range, that they made this range, and that they are ranging. Like, they used the ranging correctly to begin with. They went on the red zone and smashed it from a bunch of distances, went on the green zone, smashed it from a bunch of distances. They're like, hey, there's no range here, don't expect it to go back and forth. Do you know these arrows? You know, these arrows insinuate that I was already looking into it doing this, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a surprise to me that it did this. This is what it did do. It literally did this movement. So when I hear people are like, oh, what news made it do this? I'm like, are you kidding me? It discredits all the work that I've done to literally show everyone exactly what it was going to do. And it was on there for days in advance, and I posted about it in the morning and everything like that. And I'm just like, man, it has been absolutely clear. We're at the red zone again now. Obviously, anything that's been taken from the green zone can be sold at the red zone, and so the rest of it run. But yeah, it's like we're playing the same kind of game that we were playing when we hit the green zone below, and you know, it's testing to see whether or not people understand that there is a range here or not. Where of course we've already used the range once now, and it might not want to be used the same way again because it's not original anymore. People can see that it was there, so now that they know that there's a range here, we probably won't use it properly anymore. And it's all about them. It's all about convincing them a certain way so that they act a certain way so we can control them. That's the beauty of it. They are the humans. Very predictable, like a deer. So yes, we're coming back to test the inside of the range, just like we did on the other side of the spectrum. An absolutely amazing usage of the range. Nice movement off the top of the red zone. Anybody that's taken anything from the red zone could make it safe by now. You know, get that stop and profit and just let it rip. How far does it want to go? You know, if you can, if you know, the last one should always be managed with the stop and profit in this case, because there's big moves on the table and it might be more than what you're looking for. And don't let it not pay you, you know? So it's like a 5-wave move from the high, truncated one. The green zone to the red zone. Glorious range. It's a very unforgiving morning for those that don't see the value of the range, though. We've managed to make this distance up at the top. Because, like, a lot of people will see that it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is to condition them to think that it's going to keep doing that. It's going to fucking run and not come back. And a lot of people, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be this time or the next time, but I'm like, I know that if I keep holding from the bottom, then you're good to go. And it doesn't even have to be from today, but if you're trading from today's lows, then you're inside of the range and you're hoping that this range isn't used from edge to edge. But if you're in from another day, just go back to monitoring those positions and making sure that they're safe and find hedges for them if you don't already have them. But here we are at the edge of the green zone again. You can tell when we hit those bottoms that there was a cluster of stops because there was a pretty decent increase in volume. But they didn't run with the stops. Like every time they come down and hit the stops, what happens? It doesn't keep running down, does it? It just keeps gyrating back up like they're buying into the stops, and then they come down to the low again, buy into the stops, come down to the low again, buy into the stops, run it up a bit. They get people to chase it, come down and hit their stops. But when they hit the stop, it's not like they're pushing into the sell pressure. They're actually absorbing the stops, keeping them. And the more it keeps dumping, the more people try and buy, and they grab those stops every single time that they make a little bit of a move past the low. It collects just a vast amount of stops. It's unreal. And it's all just a process of making an inch lower every single time, just a tiny little bit. All it takes to get a bunch of stops and create all those people into liquidity. Where in the bigger picture now, you know, looking from the green zone, we've managed to make what is now the fifth wave away from that area. Pattern that we've been seeing a whole lot of lately. Kind of like more of a 3 drives pattern than a 5-wave move. Of course, the short-term B points become pretty relevant on the fifth wave. It's quite easy usually to get back to the fourth. The red and, or sorry, pink and yellow line is the next barrier. Could put some fibs on here. We did fail the 61, so looking at the 127, 141. The crazy thing about it is that it's managed to maintain this really low ATR. That's the thing though, as soon as it does reverse, it'll be on this low ATR, and when it ends up running into a different trend, the ATR can increase well after the low's been made. Like I expect the ATR to increase at least one more time by the end of the day as well. Probably hit 10 or try and get close to 10. I mean, I've noticed that the responses to this level have been quite good lately, so. Also the 127, 141 has been responding to the 61 lately. I think we're about to reverse in the short term, so.